Hi Julie, thanks for sending your video to me today. As you can see, I've got your video open twice there side by side, and that's just to show you some comparison positions between impact and at the top of the swing, address and so on. So I'll show you that as we go through. Firstly, here at address, standing a little bit too far away from the ball. We need to bring those arms down and a little closer to the body, tending to aim out to the right just a little bit. I'll just get my pointer. So we can see here that the feet just pointing over to the right down the fairway, and the upper body's pointing a little bit further left than that. So we need to get that left foot back another inch, and that will help square you up. Now as we move back to the first checkpoint, you can see that I've got a circle around that club head there. Now the toe of the club is what we call closed, or it's a little bit toed down. So we can also see that this right leg of yours is starting to straighten up. So we can see that your weight is going to the left side, and we need the weight to be moving to your right foot on the way back. But usually when we see this club face closed at this position, we often find that the club face ends up very open at impact. This just seems to be a pattern that that occurs. Closed on the way up, open on the way down. So as we go through, I'll show you that a little bit more. But this is also the position that I'm going to compare you with on the way down. So and that's why I've got the other video there ready to go. So as I move back to the next position here, so the club face is still a little bit closed as expected. The weight is continuing to sort of move onto that left side, and you can imagine the direction of this shaft that's there. It's pointing out a little bit to the right over here, and ideally we'd like it to be parallel with your feet about this point in the swing. So from here we're going to expect to see at the top of the swing the club to be pointing over here to the right rather than parallel to where your feet are going. So as we continue on up to the top, this backswing's a little bit long. We'd like to bring that down a little bit, and you can see that left arm as a result is sort of covering up, part of the chin there. So the arms are up quite high. So we want to, get that arm away from the chin and get that backswing a little flatter, so it sits more up over the shoulder here rather than where it is. So as we thought, the club's pointing out there to the right. So moving back down, this is the position where you're starting to get the club way out on the outside of you. Now if we have a look on the other side here and have a look at the position you were on the way back, which is there, and we compare the two positions, you'll see that it's quite a gap between the two. Now everyone has some sort of gap on the way up and down, but the smaller we can make this gap, the more consistent that we're going to be. So if I just go back to compare mode there, and I'll continue on over to the left here. So now you can see that the club is pointing over to the left, and again at this point, as close as we can, we'd like it parallel to our feet or where we're aiming. So down to impact, you can see the face has opened up a lot and the ball is taking off a little bit to the right there as well. So I'm going to just get the other video back to address position there, and going to compare your address position and your impact position. And as you can see, from when the club hits the ball, it moves very much across the ball to the left, and of course it's opening the face, as you see. If I just go back to the other view there, you can see on the left here that also your posture very much standing up as you get into impact. So we want to try and maintain this posture a little bit better as we go through. So from here, we'd really like to see the right foot be in more roll to the inside of the big toe and have started to turn to finish to show the sole of the shoe. So as we go around a little bit further, you can see the club there. It's cutting right up here, high, sort of in the shoulder, up towards the neck. Really, we want the club to be coming out, sort of, under the armpit there, so it's a little bit upright. Also, we can still see that foot hasn't sort of come around too much. We really need to start to see the sole of the shoe there. And here we are at the finish. Pretty good balanced finish on the left foot, which is great, but right foot needs to do a little bit more. You're going to put unwanted pressure on the ankle and on the knee and lower back, so we've got to let that right foot go and completely end up onto the big toe. So if there were a couple of things that I'd say to work on, definitely would be we've got to get a little bit closer to the ball of the dress. We've got to move that left foot back an inch or two to square our upper body and our lower body. And as you continue to practice and get better, you'll find you'll narrow this gap that we're talking about. Let me just show you that one more time there. So that's on our way down there. So you can see on the left here, on the way back, the club shaft points to the right, and on the right here, on the way down, the club shaft points to the left. So that's why we get a lot of those left to right shots, and I'm sure that when we narrow this gap, we're certainly going to get a lot more distance and a lot more control. So give me a call next week when you're ready to continue, and that will be certainly at the top of our list to work on. We'll see you then, Julie.